You are Locked On Heat POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What up, Heat fans? Jim Greashopper, call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S. Welcome to your Heat POSTCAST on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, unfortunately, your team every day, at least right now, because the Heat are in one of those ruts, man, and it is the fourth quarter blues coming back to bite them in the butt again. How many times have we said it recently? Over and over and over again, and it happened again tonight. It happened again tonight. As Eric Spoelstra said post-game, it bubbled back up on us, and yes, it did. Poor offensive decision-making, bad shots, bad sets, bad everything, leading to bad defense, and that is the hallmark of this team. The calling card is the defense. So not getting it done defensively when they're not getting it done offensively was a big problem tonight, at least according to Spo. After the game, the Heat's Hall of Fame in waiting coach, future Hall of Famer, however you want to put it, but just a tough loss tonight. 114-109. The Bulls beat the Heat in Miami. How'd they do it? How'd you do it? 36-20. They outscored them in the fourth quarter. If you're keeping score at home, that's two straight fourth quarters. The Heat have completely blown it against the Bulls. Once in Chicago early February, now back here tonight. And what happened? 36-20 tonight, 71-47, something like that in the last two fourth quarters. Just absolutely atrocious for the Miami Heat. Absolutely atrocious. The execution down the stretch. And offensively, bad shots, bad selection, just bad misses, bricks, air balls, just out of whack, not executing and allowing it to affect their defense, which then the Bulls are penetrating into the lane late and scoring at will with Cody White and Josh Giddey, who was definitely giddy tonight. I'll tell you that. He was giddy tonight. And, appreciate you bearing with me here this evening, and just wanted to say that it's been a tough day. Lost a good friend of ours today at 37 years old, unexpectedly. So it's been a tough one. But I want to say thank you and appreciate you being here for Heat POSTCAST tonight. Jim Greashopper, call me Grease. Tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Yeah, FanDuel is all kinds of dope. And don't forget, right now, if you're watching live on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, where we are free, you can still get your bets in for UFC 313 tonight. Poatan, Alex Pereira, and his opponent, Magomed Ankalaev, of course, Justin Gaethje, and Rafael Fiziev. Big fight card out in Vegas, coming to Miami next month for UFC 314, baby. April 12th in the MIA. Yo, every day we're hustling. Oh, man, Rick Ross in the Big Meech concert. Don't get me started. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I am wearing my Heat Vice City. This is my Vice City getup. You got the white, you got the blue, you got the pink right here. This is my Vice City getup. I mean, we still got the background in the red and black, but we are a little late tonight. Like I mentioned, death of a family friend earlier today at 37. So we're getting rolling with Heat POSTCAST. We're free here on Locked On Sports Miami on YouTube. Also, as a matter of fact, that blows my mind, we are free. You down with OTT? Yeah, you know me on Roku. And then, of course, wherever you get your podcast, meaning Spotify, meaning Apple Podcasts, meaning iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, wherever you get your podcast, we're there too. And then don't forget the Locked On Heat newsletter, LockedOnDaily.com. Heat and NBA news every day in your inbox. Sign up for free, LockedOnDaily.com. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, you. It's a tough time to be a Heat fan right now. I'm not going to lie. They've lost 4 out of 5. They had the Knicks game won in the fourth quarter. Number one Cavs on the road had that game won in the fourth too, or at least right there with a chance to win it. Timberwolves, a playoff team in the West last night, same thing. And then tonight, inexcusable for the second consecutive time against the stinking, rotten, lousy Bulls. These are not the Jordan Pippen Rodman Bulls or even the Jordan Pippen Grant Bulls. These are not even the Jordan Craig Hodges, John Paxson, Charles Oakley, Orlando Woolridge Bulls. They're not even, I could just keep going. They're not even the Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose Bulls. They're not any of the Bulls. They're not even the Zach LaVine Bulls anymore. But Josh Giddey, 26 points tonight. You know what I'm saying? 17-point deficit for the Bulls. The Knicks were down by 19 twice the other night without Cat. and they came back and beat you. And then tonight, same thing with the Bulls. So you've lost 4 out of 5. You've let them all get away in the fourth quarter. And after the game, to his credit, Eric Spoelstra talking about, hey, we got competitors. We got that spirit in this locker room. Nobody's going to get down. I could have rested the guys more. You can put a big portion of this game on me, yada, yada, yada. And I really appreciate that about Spo. He loves to do that. He loves to deflect from his players, and I appreciate that. You know, Wiggins and Ware back tonight both played well. Will they be stars of the game? Who knows, right? But Wiggins and Ware both played well tonight, and in their return. So you don't forget, Wiggins had been out for a while. Ware had been out for a while. Jaquez just came back last night. You know what I'm saying? So there's been some injuries. And by the way, there was a Terry Rozier jump shot sighting. He got the 3-ball back, was 5 of 9 tonight. That's encouraging. But on the same night, Duncan Robinson had a horrible shooting game, and that can't happen. So down the stretch just really didn't look comfortable executing offensively. And this is multiple games in a row. Multiple. And the only team they've beaten in this stretch, I know, the terrible Washington Wizards, the only team they've beaten in this stretch. So, you know, there's a lot of work to be done here. And I love the way Spo phrased it, just because he's a lot smarter than me, and I try to figure it out as much. He's like, his brain's like a Rubik's Cube to the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? And I say this all the time. I've known Spo. He was the Heat video intern when I was the TV show intern for Sunday Night Sports Wrap in Miami with Jim Manich and Jeff DeForest. Shout out Deef, still going strong, by the way, Jeff DeForest. But, man, when I think about where Spo's gone since those days when we were both interns and where I've gone. But I like the way he worded it after the game. We have the competitive spirit. We're going to bounce back. We had some things bubble up again. Yeah, no kidding, Spo. Poor decisions offensively that lead to lost focus defensively. This is where he starts to lose me. The brainiac. I mean, I know I'm following him, but you know what I'm saying. Poor decisions offensively, or what he's saying, really. Poor decisions offensively that lead to lost focus defensively, which is really this team's strength, right? And he says, hey, we're at our best when it doesn't matter what's going on. We can defend, get multiple stops, and that fuels our offense, fuels our confidence. Coming out of timeouts, we have a chance to push the lead to double digits, where they would come storming back, coming out of halftime, didn't come out ready. I felt like that was behind us. I didn't do a good job managing the minutes either. We got the lead, and we wanted to extend it, but I think nobody in the locker room is going to make an excuse. But I felt like there was some fatigue. If I'd gotten them a few more minutes rest somewhere throughout the game, maybe things would have been different. It's not like we're horrible defensively all the way through, but our offense affected our defense, especially in the last 6 minutes. They took advantage of it. Their guards are great at getting into the paint. When we're dialed in, we're great at defending that. We weren't dialed in down the stretch. But he did say, hey, this is an opportunity. He didn't say, hey, I did. This is an opportunity for all of us to face our demons, release the demons, and get past this. I see something amazing on the other side. My shorthand. I see something amazing on the other side. So he does. He sees something amazing on the other side. I've been saying this all along. I see something really good on the other side. I don't know about amazing, but I see something really good. I see a little bit of a playoff run. They're not the 7th seed as of right now anymore. They're the 8th, so they're in the play-in firmly at this point. You see Wiggy, can't you see on your screen up there, just looking like, hey, what's going on? But he played well tonight. Wiggins, 22 points in his return. And let's not forget, you miss a week with a sprained ankle. You're missing all the practices. He's only played 5 games with the Heat, you know? So when you're looking at that, it makes you feel better about things. And I do think they're a player short most of the time. And what I mean by that is a scorer short, a defender short, a playmaker short here and there. Tyler still disappears for too long in stretches of games and drives me up a friggin' wall with some of the shots he takes and misses. Duncan disappears too much, yes. Bam, all of a sudden, didn't have the huge game tonight offensively, but he'd been on a roll. Maybe a little bit of fatigue there. But you're running out of games like this that you can lose. The Knicks game and tonight's game in particular, the last Bulls game on the road, these are the ones that kill you. They're the ones that put you in the play-in. They're the ones that lose home court advantage. They are the games that kill you. You hear about this all the time with the human body, right? The choices you make at 20 affect your health at 40. The choices you make at 40 affect your health at 80. And choices you make, so on and so forth. So it's the same thing with the Heat right now. The losses in February and March kill you in April. Kill you. And they're out of time right now for these losses. You're out of touch. I'm out of time. Who would have figured that would become an EDM hit? That's a Hall & Oates song from the 80s. And it's starting to feel like that's the last time the Heat really executed well in the fourth quarter offensively. What is the deal? They can look so good at times, and it's literally down the stretch when this happens. It's like the sphincter tightens up or something. It's like, what I mean, you know what I mean? I don't understand what's going on. They get bad shots. They're extending possessions too deep into the shot clock and getting themselves in trouble that way. The wrong guy ends up with the ball at the wrong time. All that beautiful movement that we see throughout the game on offense tends to go away in the fourth quarter for this team, especially in the final half of the fourth quarter. And that is no bueno. You are watching Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, every day. They lose tonight 114-109 to the Bulls of Chicago, who have owned them in the fourth quarter, but everybody's owned them in the fourth quarter, especially lately. Spo says he sees beautiful things on the other side. I don't know if he's talking about his early vacation this year, but that's what it's going to be if this team doesn't get going. We'll talk about that on the other side, what they can do to fix the problem, although I sound like a parrot just repeating myself night in and night out. And, hey, maybe I'll have something different to say tonight, but we still have, look at the box score for you. Take a look at the final numbers on the team stat side. And then you know how we do. Stars of the game, turning point, final score graphic. Get you ready for a team they should be able to beat. Been saying this about most teams lately, but they play the Charlotte Hornets, and they might be worse than the Washington Wizards. So some hope in sight for the Heat. This is Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. We're free, baby. Your team every day. Free on YouTube. Free where you get your podcast. Free on OTT. Yeah, you know me on the Roku. And as I always love to do, you know how I live. I like to get action on the action, guys. That's what it's all about. Life is fun. Let's make it more fun. Let's get some more action on the action. Basketball season heating up. Oh, that's cruel right now, really, when you think about that. But there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. You see, with Prize Picks, you just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. It's easy to use. It's available in 30 states, more than 30 states, and it lets you mix and match projections across different sports. Building lineups. This week, I'm picking Luka Doncic for more than 25 points and Jason Tatum for more than 8 rebounds. Celtics just worked the Lakers tonight. It's quick. It's easy. Prize Picks, making it simple. You can set your lineup in less than a minute. Stay engaged all game long. 60 seconds or less. When you win, your money hits your account in as little as 15 minutes. No waiting around for the fast payouts. And it's not just Taco Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25%, giving even more value to your lineup. So what are you going to do? What you going to do, brother? You're going to download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA. $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup on Prize Picks. Run your game. $114-109. The Bulls beat the Miami Heat tonight. I mean, Terry Rozier misses a 3 late. Tyler Hero airballs a 3 late coming out of a timeout. They get bad shots. How do you get bad shots coming out of timeouts? How do you not inbound the ball as an NBA player and you're burning timeouts where you can't even challenge? It's been happening a lot lately, and it's not just the Heat. There's a lot of sloppy basketball out there. And I'll go ahead and say this. 114-109, the Bulls win. I'll say this about the Heat, about the NBA, and about basketball in general right now. And you saw it coming over the years. You had the Mike D'Antoni offense. And, even years ago, Paul Westhead, when he was in Denver, you know what I mean? Like that team would just run up and down the floor and score 140, 150. You had this in the 80s, but never as many threes as there are now. So I wouldn't want to be a guy betting NBA basketball night in and night out. You have to look for different ways to do it because so much of success or failure in the NBA right now, way more than ever, is predicated upon what? Shooting percentage. So much of it's always been predicated on shooting percentage, but with everybody just chucking and ducking and shooting threes all night now, who's hot, who's not? Who's hot, who's not? That should be the name of the segments on SportsCenter every night. Who's hot, who's not? Who's making threes, who's not? That determines success or failure. That determines wins or losses in the NBA. The effort, the defense, all those things are secondary now to whichever team is shooting hotter, getting better looks from 3, setting better screens around the perimeter, especially around the three-point line, and which teams run through them and around them better on the defensive side of the ball or switch off them. So much of it's predicated, though, on pure luck. Who's hot, who's not. Very, very difficult. But Miami, man, you go through stretches of games where Bam and Tyler, they're executing, they're stealing the ball, they're running on the break, they're hitting open shots, they're literally scoring points in bunches. And then you have times like tonight down the stretch where it is just painful to watch. It's painful. Like I said, the wrong guy ends up with the ball at the wrong time all the time, and it ends up like Davion Mitchell getting the open three, which is a win for the defense every single time that happens. Every single time. Speaking of wins, Josh Giddey, 26 points to lead the Bulls. Let's take a look at the box, shall we? Bulls had 6 players in double figures. Horton Tucker off the bench with 11. 13 for Buzelis, who, what an athlete he is. 15 for Jones. 18 for Collins, who had 15 rebounds. Nice game for Collins. 21 for Cody White and 26 for Josh Giddey. For Miami, All right, let's take a look at the starters. First of all, Kel'el Ware made his return in the middle. 7 points, 12 rebounds for the big fella. Wiggy, can't you see? 22 points for Andrew Wiggins, first game back as well. 9 of 17, 3 of 5 from 3 for Wiggy. Bam Adebayo, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 8 of 17 from the floor. He, 29, 30 points a night the past few nights, so not tonight. For Bam, and Tyler struggled a little bit again, 8 of 19, 2 of 7 from 3, but Tyler Hero, 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Still a solid game for the Heat's 2 guard. And off the bench they come. Terry Rozier. There was a Terry Rozier sighting. More importantly, there was a Terry Rozier's jumper from 3 sighting. 5 of 9 from beyond the arc, 15 points for Terry tonight. Not so great for Duncan Robinson. Another game, 7 in a row in double figures now for the Dunkmeister, but 4 of 15 shooting, 2 of 10 from 3. Make 3 more of those, and hey, the Heat win this game, right? That's literally what it comes down to. Like I said, who makes it, who doesn't? Who's hot, who's not? Who makes the shots, who doesn't from beyond the arc? And that's literally what it is in the NBA now, even though the Heat made more threes than the Bulls tonight, and they shot 30% while the Bulls shot 26, and that's god-awful for both. Jaquez Jr., 4 points. Highsmith, 0 for 5, 0 for 4. I don't even want to say, should I even say that he had 2 points? I mean, good God. Well, it is what it is. What can I say? Let's take a look at the team stats. But seriously, I mean, come on, bro. It's woeful. Some of your best defensive players just can't score offensively. It just, it's not a fun thing to have to say or to talk about, but as great as they are on the defensive side of the ball, it's a liability when you just can't score on offense. All right, field goals, 45% for the Bulls, 42% for the Heat, 26% from 3 for Chicago, 30% for Miami. The free throws, 23 of 26 for the Bulls. There's your difference right there. The Heat, 14 of 19. Chicago more aggressive, getting into the paint, out-rebounding Miami, 51-44. Outscoring them in the paint, 58-46. Outscoring them on the break, 18-15. 10 turnovers for the Bulls, 9 for Miami. Yeah. Largest lead, 17 for the Heat, 5 for the Bulls. Miami was a 5.5-point favorite. The total, 225.5, comes in at 223. It's always so close with the odds makers. But there you have it. Those are your numbers from tonight's game. But really what it came down to, Miami did not execute at all down the stretch on either side of the ball. Wiggins had it stolen from him. Cody White goes in, scores a 3-point play. The very next possession, beautiful left-handed layup, high off the glass. Incredible. Looked like a Kyrie Irving shot. But, man, it was painful to watch the Heat just allowing dribble penetration right into the lane, getting out hustled for rebounds. I mean, look at last night. Bam didn't get a rebound on a free throw. Randall gets the rebound. And even though they missed 3 out of 4 free throws down the stretch and Edwards fumbled the ball out of bounds, the Heat still couldn't win the game. The other night in Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell turns it over twice in the last 2 minutes. They can't do anything with it. Tonight was painful down the stretch, and Spo had said, hey, I thought our demons were gone. I thought it'd bubble back up on us. Well, Spo, that's more than bubbling. That's more than bubbling, bro. This is a full-scale eruption. This is not bubbling. Bubbling is a game or two. This is 4 out of 5. This is 2 19-point leads against the Knicks in the second half the other night, losing that game. This is 2 in a row against the Bulls where you're just decimated in the fourth quarter to blow big leads, once there, once here. This is 4 out of 5 games you've lost. You blew the Cavs game. You blew the Wolves game. You blew the Knicks game. No, this is not bubbling. This is bubbling, festering, blowing. This is erupting. This is oozing. This is covering everything, and this is destroying and ravaging the land. Okay, it's not bubbling. I don't know how else to say it. I'm no Eric Spoelstra, believe me. He's a Hall of Fame coach in the making. I know this. But he's got to say these things. He's got to say he sees beautiful things on the other side. Anything would look beautiful after what they played like in the fourth quarter, these last few games. Just calling it like I see it. Look, this is what you do on the Heat postcast, right? You react to the game. Every single time the Heat play, we're here with your Heat postcast after the game. Not to be confused with Heat podcast day in and day out. And, of course, the Locked On Heat daily newsletter, LockedOnDaily.com. Heat and NBA news every day right in your inbox. What else are we going to do next with the Locked On Podcast Network? There's a reason we got 9.9 million in a day a couple weeks ago. There's a reason we got 358 million last quarter. The views, the engagements, everything continues to rise with the network. All right, I'm Jim Greasehaber. Call me Grease, Gries, at Jim Grease _ on social media. 114-109. The Heat fall again, this time to the Chicago Bulls. Again to the Bulls, actually. 2 disastrous fourth quarters in a row. Wrapping it up after we tell you about a great offer from FanDuel, and when does FanDuel not give you great offers. But on the other side, we're going to give you the players of the game. We're going to give you a turning point. We're going to give you this final score graphic. You guys know and expect and love those every single day on the show. And, of course, we will look ahead to the Hornets game. Maybe they can beat them, for crying out loud, on Monday night at home, where they still have 3 consecutive games and all is not lost, even though they're sliding away in the standings. It's Grease. It's Heat Postcast. It's the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day, and it is me being a little bit late for a break. But when we talk about the great FanDuel, what an awesome, awesome, awesome thing you get to do with FanDuel. Pardon me. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you missed the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in on the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature. So many reasons, but one of my favorites, it keeps every moment of the game exciting, #1, obviously. So whether I'm backing my team for a late-game rally or I can pick a player to hit a clutch 3, I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, it's easy to use, the app, and when you win, you get paid instantly, right away. Un momento, por favor. So right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Got to have it. I got to have it. All right, there we go. 114-109, the Heat losers tonight at home. Look, I'm about to show you in a minute. You're not going to like it, but they've lost 4 out of 5. They're 5 games under 500 for the first time this season. Look at all the injuries in the last week with the ankles for Jaquez and Wiggins, the knee for Ware. You know what I mean? Mitchell was banged up. There's been so many players. Hero was sick and missed the Cavs game. Bam carried him all week. He deserved better, beyond a shadow of a doubt, but didn't get it. Excuse me, guys. Apologize for that. Nowhere to go and no break to play, but appreciate you guys. While you're here, by the way, smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content. And come on in the chat and say what up to your boy. By the way, I appreciate all of you who hit me up today. Let me know that you were listening to me on ESPN radio across the country on a UFC 313 preview special. Crushed it, killed it, lit the world on fire. Litty like New York City, baby. And, hey, we're up against the end of the show here in a moment. But let's take a look at every day. You guys love this. So you everydayers know this. You newbies know this. You have come to expect this from us. First things first, I Grease, freaks, all the honeys, dummies, Playboy bunnies, those want money. Hoping for a Heat win tonight. Couldn't get it. That took a while to upload. 114-109. Look at Cody White. Look at, man, oh, man. I think that's White and Giddey. Is that not White and Giddey? Yeah, that's White and Giddey. They had a lot of reasons to celebrate tonight, did they not? Down the stretch, those guys killed the Heat. 21 points for White, 26 for Giddey. 6 Bulls in double figures, 114-109. They outscore the Heat. 36-20 in the fourth quarter, 75-41 in the fourth quarters of the two losses to the Bulls in February and March. The last two, one there, one here, doesn't matter. Fourth and 5 games for Miami. They're 5 games under 500. Same ending as the Knicks game, same ending as the Cavs game, same ending as the Wolves game. Now this one, 4 times in a week. Same exact thing, man. Same exact thing. It's scripted. It is scripted, man. We're all what's the one? We're all NPCs. We're all NPCs. It's scripted. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's take a look at the stars of the game. We're only going with 2 tonight. I was going to go Tyler for the 8 rebounds and the 6 assists, but no. They needed more out of him. Bam, just for the body of work this week. Bam, star of the game. Yep, couldn't get enough, and especially in the fourth quarter, maybe running out of gas a little bit. And then the other star of the game, Cody White and Josh Giddey. Liddy like Shy City. I was going to try to think of a rhyme that went with deep dish pizza, which is why I'm not an MC, but neither is anybody else who's ever lived in Miami. Oh, Rick Ross, Pitbull, what? Trick? Love the kids. Kids don't love you. Just kidding. I'm a hip-hop snob. Anyway, I just endeared myself to the Miami audience on a high level. But the Heat play the Charlotte Hornets on Monday. And your Charlotte Hornets, not yours, not mine, not anyone's, are 15-48. The Heat are 80% likely to win this game. You get a little LaMelo Ball action coming your way. But let's just keep in mind that Terry Rozier was averaging 24 points a game for this team 2 years ago when the Heat got him. You've seen what he's playing like here on a good team. But look, it's nothing that's a knock on Rozier. He's 5 for 9 from 3 tonight. If he can keep that up, that's a real positive sign. Wiggins comes back, gets the 22 points, and that's awesome. Khalil Ware, 7 points, 12 rebounds in his first game back from the knee injury. So, look, you start some momentum with a win over the Hornets. You got the Clippers on Wednesday, and then you got the Celtics coming in on Friday. That'd be a great home win before you go on the road to face the Grizzlies, the Knicks, and then the Pistons and Rockets and Hornets and Warriors. All come back to Miami as they continue a stretch with far more home games than road games. But a tough one tonight, 114-109, 36-20. They're outscored in the fourth quarter. Horrible execution down the stretch. Offensively, which Eric Spoelstra said after the game, leads to defensive breakdowns, and that's what can't happen. You expect offensive breakdowns. Players miss shots. These games are dictated by three-point shooting, which means who's hot, who's cold. But do not let bad offense lead to poor defense, poor communication, poor switching, poor penetration stopping and boxing out for rebounds and all sorts of crap like that. That's what happened tonight. That's what happened this week. Throw it away. Start over on Monday. That's all there is, Heat fans. There is no more. Your Heat postcast on your Saturday night. Jim Greasehaber, call me Grease on your March 8th. Thank you so much for being here. As always, want to just show you my appreciation. You are the best part of this network and the reason why we do what we do. Check out Locked On Heat, Locked On Canes, Locked On Dolphins, Locked On Marlins, day in and day out. The postcast with yours truly right here. We'll be back after the Hornets game on Monday night with another edition of your Heat postcast. Until then, my boys and girls and everyone else who loves the show, keep your game tight and your mind